Your food or drink product tastes good, your team agrees, the reviews are good, only a few complaints about taste. And yet, your repeat purchase rate is far lower than it should be. So you start questioning everything else. You look at the packaging, the price point, the marketing, because if the taste is good, so it must be something else, right? But maybe that's not quite right. And this is exactly what I want to talk about today. If you're new here, hello and welcome to the Food Lab podcast. I'm Manon Galizi, a food scientist and flavor expert, and I've spent over 10 years in the food industry. And this is the place where we talk honestly about what it actually takes to build the food and drink brands that last on retailer shelves. Now, if you're following this series, you know we spent the last few weeks talking about repeat purchase rate, what it is, why it matters, and why the economics of retention make it the most important metric in your business. But today we are going one level deeper, because knowing that taste drives repeat purchase is one thing, but understanding what specifically about taste makes someone come back and what gets in the way of that is something else entirely. Let me start with the distinction I think change everything. When a consumer tastes your food or drink product for the first time, there are two very different reactions they can have. The first is, that's good. And the second is, I want to have that again. And those two reactions are not the same thing, not even close. That's good. Get you the first purchase. You get someone to pick your product off the shelf, try it, and think, yeah, I enjoy that. And of course, it's important, but I need to have that again is the one that brings them back. That's the reaction that builds your repeat purchase rate. That's the one that keeps you listed. And here is an uncomfortable truth. A food or drink product can taste good and still completely fail to trigger that second reaction and get delisted. This is the thing I come back to most often with the food and drink founders I work with or speak to. Not because their product tastes bad, but because good and craveables are two different things. So the question I want you to answer in this episode is, what is the actual difference between a food or drink product that tastes good and one that people genuinely crave? Right. I want to share some research here, because understanding the science behind why people buy a food and drink product again completely change how you think about flavor development. The first piece I want to talk about is the work of two neuroscientists, Kent Berridge and Terry Robinson. Their research looked at how the brain responds to pleasurable experiences, including food and drink. And what they found is that the brain has two completely separate systems at play. The first one is liking. That's immediate hedonic response, the pleasure you feel in the moment you taste something. The second is wanting. Wanting is the dopamine-driven motivation to seek that experience again. It's what pulls you back. It's what makes you think about the food or drink product when you're standing in the supermarket aisle and your eyes go straight to it. And the critical finding from their research is this: liking and wanting are not the same thing. They are driven by different systems in the brain. A food or drink product can trigger liking, which is a genuine pleasure in the moment, without ever triggering wanted, without activating that pull to come back. So what triggers wanting? The first thing is the flavor experience has to be more than just pleasant. It has to be satisfying, distinctive, and memorable enough for the brain to file it as something worth seeking out again. And this connects to another piece of research I found really relevant here. Robert J. Zong's work on what he called the mere exposure effect is the finding that the more familiar we are with something, the more we tend to like it. We talked about this familiarity principle in a previous episode from an NPD perspective. There is an important dimension to it when you look through the lens of repeat purchase. It only works if the experience is consistent. If your food and drink product tastes slightly different every time, if something is subtly off from one batch to the next, the positive memory doesn't consolidate. The wanting signal gets weaker and the repeat purchase quietly disappears. Does it make sense? Because I think once this click, it genuinely changes the way you look at your food or drink product. And then there is the olfactory memory. And this is again something I found remarkable about the way taste actually works. So when you smell or eat or drink something, the aroma compound travel and connect with the olfactory receptors in the nose. And those receptors have a direct neurological pathway to the amygdala and the hippocampus, which are the memory and the emotion emotion centers of the brain, which is why taste and smell memories are so powerful and so emotionally loaded and so long-lasting. This is why you can smell something and be instantly transported back to a specific moment in your life. For food and drink products, what it means is that flavor isn't just a sensory experience in the moment. It becomes a memory, an emotion, a positive, distinctive, satisfying flavor gets stored. It becomes something your consumers can be reminded of, triggered by, pulled back towards. But a flat or inconsistent experience doesn't get filed in the same way. It doesn't pull them back. And that's the neuroscience of repeat purchase. And when you understand the bar for what good enough actually means become very clear. I want to talk about what actually goes wrong, because there are 3 specific things at the taste level that quietly destroy repeat purchase rate. And most food and drink founders don't spot any of them until the damage is already done. The first one is the consistency problem. This is the one I come across most often and is the hardest to catch because it happens gradually. Your food or drink product get into manufacturing, it scale up, things shift. Slightly different equipment, a different processing, temperature, a small variation in raw material from a supplier, for example. And each individual change is so small that actually nobody in your team even notices. Because they are tasting the product all the time, though their palate have adapted. But a consumer tasting your food and drink product for the second time, they notice. They might not be able to tell you exactly what's different. They just know it doesn't taste quite the same way they remembered. I'm gonna give you a personal example. For me, there are products I used to absolutely love and now I do refuse to buy because they taste so different. And this product, and all of the French are gonna look at me like, what? Nutella, Bounty, Lindt. And they are probably even more, but they are the ones I used to absolutely love. And then gradually I saw the difference. I saw how the quality of the product decreased. I saw how the taste was different. And now I literally refuse to buy them. So that gap between the memory they stored on the first purchase and the experience they have on the second one is enough to weaken that wanting signal. I work with brands where the food or drink product had drifted meaningfully during production. A change of supplier, the wrong raw material, the wrong quantity of the wrong material, and nobody in the team had flagged it. It was only on paper when they realized that that was a mistake. And because they've tasted that product so many times, even comparing to the benchmark, they completely stopped noticing. A new customer that has that attachment, that emotional attachment to it, that memory, they will notice. And that's the kind of things that put your repeat purchase down without you even noticing it. The second taste killer is what I call the good on paper problem. And this one is really common in functional food and drink. The food or drink product hits every point of the brief. It's clean label, high in protein, strong health claims. And when you taste it, it tastes fine. It does the job. There's nothing wrong with it. But it doesn't satisfy. There is no moment that makes the brain say, I want that again. And this is where the distinction between liking and wanting really matters in practice. The health claims get you the trial, taste get you the return. If the flavor experience doesn't deliver something beyond functional, if it doesn't trigger that wanting response, the repeat purchase simply isn't there. The third taste killer is the functional ingredient problem. As we know, some ingredients are genuinely challenging from a flavor perspective. Plant protein, marine collagen, adaptogen, botanicals. Some of them bring their own strong notes to the party, such as earthy, bitter, fishy, cardboardy, and many more. And if those notes are properly addressed during the flavor development process, they will sit in the background of every sip or every bite and quietly put people off. We've talked about this in previous episodes from an NPD perspective. How you always start from the base before you think about the flavor direction. But again, through the repeat purchase lens, the stakes are even higher. A consumer may try your food and drink product once out of curiosity or because of the health claims on the front. If there's enough notes they can't quite place, something that just doesn't feel right, they won't come back to it. And they often even won't be able to tell you. They just maybe say, if you're lucky, it wasn't really for me, and then just move on. If any of this is resonating, if you're sitting here thinking, I wonder if this was happening right now with my food and drink product, here's how I would approach the diagnosis. The first thing is to bring in fresh tasters. Not your team, not your co-founders, not your friends who've been sampling it for months. People who are your target consumers and never tried your food and drink product before. Again, there is no point asking everyone. You can't please everyone, so focus on your target consumer and watch their reaction carefully. Not just whether they like it, but how enthusiastic they are. If the response is, that is nice, or is it, oh, that's really good, what the hell is this? That difference is telling you something important. Again, do not ask people who roughly fit your demographics, but the actual specific people who you developed this product for. Then, the second thing is to look for two very specific segments. The ones who bought your product once and didn't come back, and the ones who kept on buying. Talk to both groups. Ask the one who left what they liked, what they didn't like, whether they had anything to do with the taste, because again, it can be other reason, what they wanted something different from your product, and mainly why they stopped buying. And ask the ones who stayed why they keep on coming back, and what is it your food and drink product that bring them back, what they enjoy the most. The answers those two groups give you will be completely different from each other, and both are incredibly valuable. Because the gap between those two sets of answers is probably exactly where your repeat purchase issue sits. This is not about trying to please everyone. We've talked about this before and we will say again, you can't develop one product that works for every consumer, and you shouldn't even try. But within your specific narrow target consumer group, you need to understand what's working and what's not working. And the only way to know is to ask. Gather real data rather than making assumptions. The third thing is to benchmark. Find a food and drink product with the strongest repeat purchase rate if you can have this information, the most loyal following, and the taste is honestly alongside yours. I didn't say competitors, I didn't say in your category. It can be an actual product, like a fresh fruit, an actual meal. It's not to copy it exactly or not to copy it at all, it's to understand the gap. What does this flavor experience deliver that yours doesn't? And that comparison is worth more than almost any other exercise. And the fourth thing is to read your reviews. Every 1-star or 2-star reviews that mention taste, texture, smell, or any other sensory descriptor. Again, be careful, take it with a pinch of salt. If it's only one person that say one thing, then that's fine. If you notice few person noticing it and the number is significant, then you obviously have to act on it. They are trying to tell you that something is going wrong, but unfortunately they're not always in framing with the language of a flavor science. So your job is to listen and translate. Right, here is the challenge for this week. First, find your one-time buyers. If you sell direct to consumer, you can pull the list of the consumers who placed an order and never came back. If you sell through retail, think about how you can reach those consumers through your social channel, a survey, your email list, or whatever you think you can have connection with them. And then find your repeat buyers too, and ask them real questions. Gather real data this week. No assumption about what you think they feel, but what your actual target consumers actually think about your food or drink product when they actually tasted it. Right, let's bring it together. The difference between a food and drink product that gets tried and a product that gets bought again comes down to one thing. The taste experience needs to trigger not just liking, but wanting. Consistency drift, a flavor that does the job but doesn't satisfy, challenging base note that were never properly addressed. When you put these things in perspective, they are solvable problems. But you have to know which one you're dealing with first. And you found that out by going directly to your target consumers and being genuinely honest about what they tell you. If you want to go deeper on this, if you're working through a taste issue and you would like a professional perspective on what is going wrong and how to fix this is exactly what I do at Epixi. The link is in the description. And if this episode was useful, please share it with the food and drink founders who's working through exactly the same thing right now. This is the conversation the food and drink industry needs to having a lot more often. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye!